sun.
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
Sun.
You stole it from
Be quick.
Yes.
How about others?
That's true.
I'm trying to go off sugar for all my life, maybe, but recent few months, and I found today that there are so many sweets without sugar.
Ah, nice. Others.
I really liked my skin today.
Oh,
Like I was,
Mhm.
yeah, today it's good.
So good.
Did you do some routine? Or why?
No, I don't know what happened. Maybe it became warmer or I used more cream than I don't know. That's why it's a happy surprise. Just today was fine.
There was a dog in my office today,
Always. That's the good one. Yeah.
and it's coming tomorrow again.
But hey, today's way that we're going to do is to keep it conversational. So it's so quiet. Let's give some energy to me. Yes?
Let's give some energy.
Raise your hands.
Yes.
Do this. Or maybe you can clap like this. Whatever. Do something. All right. So before we start, that's what I wanted to do. We keep it conversational, so you can stop me at any point. We have 15 minutes. I might not take all of that, but we might. Who knows? Let's see. Try to keep on time. But today's topic here is two cultural identities. How many of you share multiple cultural identities in this room? Everyone here, and possibly also online. Hey people, sorry I didn't see the little camera there. Hello, and thank you for joining. Let's start with a quick introduction. Paul already talked a lot about me, so let's try to be concise. Yes. Okay. So my name is Priyanka Banerjee. I'm one of the partners at deidei. I will tell you more about what we do. But I really would like to start once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away, because that's how I feel about Indian culture and Finnish culture. It's a different galaxy completely. So one fine sunny day in the India galaxy, I was in my work, so I'm an engineer by background. I was working, and my manager, she just called me, and she was like, Priyanka, we have an urgent requirement. Can you go to Finland? I was like, yeah, sounds about right. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Okay. So that's how I landed up in Finland, less than 24 hours of notice. Of course, before that, I had worked with the Nordic clients because I was working with the Nordic clients, so I knew about them. I had the visa, but it was like maybe some point that you might get to visit for a business reason. But completely making a change in less than 24 hours actually helped me because I had no time to think, only act. So that's how I landed up in Finland almost 9 years ago. I'm still here. I did not know if I would be here for 3 months, 6 months, or 9 years, for example. That was my first ever, interaction coming to a European country, let's say. I was super excited after I came here, because before that I had no time. I was really excited, and I don't know how, maybe you might relate, but in India, when you join a new workplace or meet a new team, you have welcome party, right? It could be just people coming together or welcoming you or greeting you, or like in my brother's case, have like a banner with your name in huge letters. It could be anything. So I was really excited, like, oh my God, I had no time to research Finland, and I don't know what is waiting me for there. And with the smiles on all your face, you know what was happening. So I went to my client's to my office, and I was like, okay, no one. It's maybe it's coming. Maybe it's coming. Very luckily, I had a friend or a colleague who then became a very good friend of mine who was there to help me navigate a little bit. And then I got all the instructions over emails, like this is what you do, this is where you go to get your laptop. And I was like, okay, still reeling in, still taking it in and waiting for that welcome party. So yeah, and it continued days. And then I was like, okay, this is not working. My colleagues, they were sitting like right next, very, very close to me, and I would admit that my reactions might not be the best. In that situation, I was like, hey, why I've been here like so many days, like nobody comes to talk to me. I feel so excluded, and the whole dialogue. And then they were like, we were just giving you space so that you could settle down and you could take your time and don't feel overwhelmed. And you have heard about cultural differences before, and then you suddenly realize how it can impact your everyday life in a different country. And then that day I also realized that my presumptions about my team, that they didn't care for me or they didn't necessarily welcomed me in the way that I would want them to. And you realize that there are differences. So it's not wrong, it's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad. They are just different ways to be in this culture. So that's how my first experience of the cultural differences started. But as you know, that was just the beginning, and I can have one whole keynote about the culture shocks, and we can laugh a lot. But today we are going to talk more, go a bit deeper into culture and identity and what that actually means, and how we can navigate through it. And of course, from my perspective, and then my amazing panelists will also be sharing their stories. So before diving into more about cultural identity and culture, I thought that we could define it a bit. What does it mean? And there are many different definitions there. But just for the sake of us coming together, having a shared understanding of what I am talking about, I have picked how we define culture. So culture basically is what shapes us in many ways and in our group's way of thinking. Many times we might think, okay, culture could be about nationalities, about ethnicities, but that's actually, culture is so much more. It could be your shared norms, like languages, your beliefs, your values, even like things and objects that are passed down from family to family can be considered culture. And cultural identity then means that how do we, as a person, feels a sense of belonging to that particular culture or the group of cultures. And this identity is also then impacted by all of these shared languages and beliefs and norms that we have. But my favorite part about this is that cultural identity is not a static. It's fluid. It is multifaceted, and it can change when you come across different experiences, when you meet different people, when you come across different cultures, like we all have here. And also important to mention that it is intersectional. Means that your identity will also depend on a lot of other things, like your ethnicity, your gender, your socioeconomic status. So for example, I cannot differentiate that this is Priyanka, a woman, this is Priyanka coming from India, living in Finland, this is Priyanka, a person of color in Finland. All these identities create the unique being that you are. And therefore, the cultural identity also is very unique to each one of us, and navigating it could mean different things to different people based on how they present in the society. What do you think about, like, when you hear the term cultural identity, what comes to your mind first? You can shout out. Very easy question.
Food.
Food.
Nationality?
Nationality.
Language?
Language.
Maybe your dress, the way you dress.
Yeah, the way you
Appearance.
dress, present. Yeah.
Music.
Music. Yeah. So there are so many different ways that we as individuals can also see what our identity and what our cultural identity would mean. So this was the only theory part. Don't worry, this is not a theory session. But talking about then living between cultures, and I really think the most courageous people are the people who change countries. You know why? Because coming out of your comfort zone and leaving your family and friends and the known and everything that you know, or even if you have a part of the mixed identity while you have been grown in one country, but your roots might be from different countries, it brings you a little bit outside your comfort zone. And for me, it was very much outside my comfort zone. And I was in this phase that I thought I'm constantly navigating, like I just felt like I'm constantly trying to be myself, but I'm not able to. So continuing the story there, working in the tech industry as the only woman in my team, and I was very young when I came here in my 20s, and I was like, okay, I don't really feel that I belong here. I don't really feel that I can be myself as my best self in this place. And it was a scary thing, because what I decided to do next was quit my job in a country where it's very difficult to find a job, which I did not know at that time. Okay? Again, knowing that I did not know anything about Finland helped to make that decision. So it was a very scary time, because I don't come from the European Union, so you don't have the same support. You lose your financial support. You don't know the language. You don't know anyone. You have no network. You don't know what are you going to do. But you're like, yes, I want to feel that I belong. And I want to do something that makes me feel.
You didn't want to go back to India when you quit your job?
Not really, because I think it was, for me, that if I don't try, I would regret. And if I fail, I can always go back home. You know, so it was in that way, the decision was easy but scary. And fortunately, I got into an MBA program in Lappeenranta actually, but I was living in Helsinki and traveling there. But those 2 years got my best years, you could say, because I was experimenting out of it. I worked with a lot of startups. I went to all the events. One of the events when I met actually Joppe, volunteering, doing everything I could, and every time coming back to the same thing, that we still need more understanding on how to create more equitable and inclusive places. And I didn't see people were doing that, so that's how I started my journey as a speaker, because I was like going to all the events and knocking at the door. Hey, I have something to say. Do you have 5 minutes? Can I go to the stage? And they were like, who are you? I was like, yeah, I just need 5 minutes. And many of them were like, okay, no. But a lot of them, they did give me the opportunity to go on the stage and talk about it. And that's how I started my company. And I think one of the things that happened there, which helped me navigate through all that, was finding my tribe, which was the thing I was missing quite a lot. How many of you miss having a social connection when you first came to, or when you first encountered a difference in culture? Yes, a lot of us. So I got very lucky because I was knocking on the doors, asking people to give me a stage to speak. In one of these stages, there was this one woman who was like, hey, we are thinking of like starting this NGO where like we can connect to these women from different professionals. And I was like, yes, whatever it is, yes. I was like, absolutely yes. And then we started the founding board of International Working Women of Finland. Have you heard the name?
No.
Yes, of course, Verena. And today it is 11,000 plus members that it has grown. So
I've never heard.
oh,
Newest
we need
member.
to talk.
No,
Newest member.
there's like mothers in business. There are like a lot of communities, but I've never heard of. And you said it's 11,000 members. So.
Yeah. So
11,001.
Yeah.
You only did like
now you have.
Avoid it, or how I avoided it, or it avoided me.
Just don't get to hear stuff.
Amazing, yes.
And then slowly I found my tribe. And I got like I said, I founded my company. I founded the DI for Nordics event. I was on the founding board of the RU. And that started to, the tribe helped me navigate the cultural, the constant challenge that I was facing with myself, because they became my biggest allies. They helped me open doors. They laughed with me, cried with me, and I'm getting very emotional saying that they actually made me the person who I am today. And what I learned from this tribe is that when we start shifting ourselves, or maybe not shifting, when we embrace our identity in a way that we feel comfortable, that this is the reality, and these are the things that we are every day learning and adapting ourselves. For me, it happened that from feeling like an outsider to both the places, because when you go to India, you're missing the Finnishness, and then when you're in Finland, you're missing the Indianness, so not belonging anywhere. I was able to understand both worlds, and embracing that gave me so much more, not just joy, but also helped me grow into the person that I am today. And helped me grow my mindset. So navigating, what I learned was, of course, we have to learn every single day about navigating how these cultures come together, but also unlearn the misconceptions that we have, relearn that the one experience that is not the universal experience. There are so many different experiences, and I was very privileged that I came here. I already had a job. I already spoke very good English. I had a very high education that gave me already some kind of a starting in the society that might not be the same for everyone. And it slowly also helped me grow grow as a speaker and the organization that I now work with. So 2 years ago, we merged with a company called deidei, which is, again, started by 3 amazing people, and we thought we shared the same vision. So this is now my beautiful team. We are a team of 8 people. And we are actively working towards creating more diverse and equitable and inclusive workplaces in Finland. And I have personally had the privilege of working with hundreds of leaders and companies, and together we have been able to work with over 200 brands and companies in Finland. And I think that is all also coming together to what Paul was talking about, winning the Nordic Women in Tech Awards last year. And the thing that I take away from it is that it is never it took 9 years to do a lot of things that I do, but I still feel that I'm just starting. I have so much to learn. I still struggle every single day with things that I don't feel is going okay because I don't understand. But then there are days where you feel like it clicks so easily because you are now what I call myself a Finnian. So adapting and it has enriched me so much more as a person. And this is how I see the graph, that how I started. It was like an everyday was such a roller coaster, right? And now it is still like, I think I'm in this phase where it's still like a bit here and there. And I think this is always gonna be like that, but hopefully it is becoming much more, I feel much more comfortable in my own skin being a Finnian. So I think that would be my lesson to take away from my story, that do the best until you know better, and then when you know better, you do better. And in terms of also learning and accepting yourself and your own identity as a multicultural identity. Thank you so much.